Think about those nights when you're driving home after spending time with her. The car is quiet, streetlights are passing by, and even though the date seemed to go well, you have this sinking feeling in your stomach that something just isn't right. She was nice, she smiled at you, she even laughed at those jokes you told. When you dropped her off, she gave you a warm hug and told you she'd talk to you very soon. On the surface, nothing went wrong at all. But as you keep driving, you find yourself replaying every minute of the night in your head. You start to feel like she's pulling away just a little bit more every single time you see her. Soon, your mind is full of worried questions. You ask yourself if you acted too excited to see her. You wonder why it feels like you're the only one putting in the hard work to make things happen. You look at other men who seem to have it all figured out, and you wonder what secret they know that you don't. If you've ever felt this way, I need you to know something right now. You are not alone. Almost every man who truly wants to find a good, loving relationship reaches a point where he thinks the only way to fix things is to give even more of himself. He decides to be more available, always ready to hang out. He becomes very agreeable and never disagrees with her. He becomes extra patient and is willing to give up his own needs and his own dreams because he genuinely believes that's what a high-value woman really wants. He thinks that if hard work makes you successful at your job or in sports, it must work for love too. But here's the truth, and it might surprise you. A woman who knows her own worth doesn't stop liking a man because he's kind or loyal. She doesn't lose interest because he cares about her. She starts to lose that spark of attraction when he slowly stops being the man she liked so much in the very beginning. What I'm about to share with you changed everything for me, and I've seen it change everything for countless other men too. These aren't tricks or games to play with someone's feelings. They're simply powerful boundaries that keep your self-respect alive and help a woman see that you're someone worth choosing every single day. So stay with me here, because what you're about to discover could be the missing piece you've been searching for. Let's start with something that might sound simple, but is incredibly powerful. Your time should never need permission. This isn't about being mean or pretending you're too busy when you're not. It's about taking care of the life you were building before she ever came along. One of the fastest ways a man loses his way is by making his whole calendar wide open for her. The very second a woman shows a little bit of interest, he starts canceling plans with his best friends. He moves important work meetings around and stops doing his own activities because he thinks this shows how much he loves her. But here's what actually happens. A woman who respects herself rarely sees this as a sign of strength. Instead, she starts to wonder if your life has any real meaning outside of her. If you can drop everything at a moment's notice, she doesn't feel special. She feels like she's the only thing keeping your life from being empty, and that's a lot of weight for one person to carry. Imagine she calls you on a Friday afternoon and asks if you want to hang out that night, but you already told your best friend you'd go to dinner with him. A lot of men would immediately say they'll cancel on their friend. That might sound nice, but it tells her that your promises and your time don't really matter much. Now think about this instead. You could say, I'd love to see you, but I already promised a friend I'd be there tonight. I'm free tomorrow if that works for you. Notice something important here. No apology, no guilt. Your time has value because your life has value. A woman is much more likely to respect a man who has a world that was already moving forward before she joined it. And this brings me to something even deeper. You need to stop making her your only priority. I know this sounds backwards, especially when everything you've been told says you should focus completely on the person you care about. But here's what really happens. A big mistake many good men make is thinking that spending every single second together is the best way to make a relationship strong. At first, it seems like a small thing. You miss your workout because she wants to watch a movie. You say no to a fun invite from your friends because you don't want her to feel sad. Then, slowly, the things you love to do start to fade away. Your weekends become all about her schedule. Before you know it, your whole life depends on just one person. To you, it feels like you're being very committed, but to a high-value woman, it feels like pressure. She's not looking for a man who has nothing else going on. She wants a man who has goals, good friends, and things he's excited about. She wants to be invited into that exciting life, not be the reason you quit living it. Think about this scenario. Your best friends invite you on a fishing trip you've talked about for months, but then she says she wants to hang out that same weekend. If you cancel your trip right away without even thinking, she might say thanks, but she'll notice that you're giving up your own joy for her. A stronger response would be to smile and say, I already told the guys I'd go fishing this weekend, but let's do something great when I get back. No guilt, no second guessing. He knows that having a life of his own makes the relationship better, not worse. Now, here's something that really messes men up, and I see this all the time. Her emotions are not yours to carry. Many men think that being a good partner means they have to fix every single problem a woman has. If she sounds sad or mad, they go into panic mode trying to find a solution. They give advice even if she didn't ask for it. They apologize for things they didn't even do just to make her feel better. They do this because they want to protect the relationship, but it can actually make things feel worse. A woman doesn't always need a hero to save her. Sometimes she just needs a man who can stay calm while she goes through a hard time. Picture this. She calls you after a terrible day at work. She's upset because a project went wrong and she just needs to talk about it. Before she even finishes her story, you start telling her what she should do. You say things like, maybe you should talk to your boss, or maybe you just misunderstood something. You mean well, but she feels like you're just trying to make her stop talking so you don't have to deal with her feelings. A better way is to simply listen. When she's done, say something like, that sounds really tough. I can see why you feel that way. Then just be there with her. You're not fixing her problem, but you're giving her your support. A strong man stays steady like a rock in a storm. He doesn't let her bad mood ruin his whole day, and he doesn't try to force her to be happy. This kind of calm strength builds real trust. But let me tell you about something that's even more important. Never laugh away disrespect. A man who respects himself knows the difference between a fun joke and someone being mean. Many men let people be mean to them because they're afraid of looking like they can't take a joke. They smile when their feelings are hurt, and they laugh when a comment is actually quite rude. They tell themselves it's better to stay quiet than to cause a fight, but every time you let someone treat you badly, you're teaching them that it's okay to do that. A woman who knows her worth is watching how you treat yourself. She wants to know if you'll stand up for yourself, because if you can't protect your own dignity, you won't be able to protect the relationship when things get hard. Imagine you're at dinner with some friends, and she makes a joke about you that feels more like a put down than playful teasing. Everyone laughs, but you feel small inside. Instead of hiding your hurt with a fake smile, wait for a quiet moment and calmly say, I know you were just kidding, but I'd really appreciate it if you didn't make jokes like that about me. You don't have to yell or be mean back. You just state your boundary with a calm voice. That's what self-respect looks like, and she'll respect you more for having the courage to speak up for yourself in a kind way. Here's another trap so many good men fall into. They hide their opinions to keep her happy. It's very easy to lose who you are by always saying yes to everything she wants. It usually starts small. She picks the place to eat, and you say anything is fine, even though you really wanted tacos. She says something you don't agree with, but you just nod your head because you don't want to argue. If you do this too much, You stop being a real person and start being a shadow. A high-value woman isn't looking for a man who's exactly like her. She wants a man who has his own thoughts and his own favorite things. When a man agrees with every single thing a woman says, the relationship gets boring very fast. If she knows exactly what you're going to say every time, there's no more mystery or excitement in the conversation. If she asks where you want to go for dinner, don't just say it's up to her every single time. If you do that, she has to do all the work of making decisions. Instead, try saying something like, "I've been really wanting to try that new pizza place. Let's go there." When you're honest about what you like, she gets to know the real you. A woman wants to date a real man, not a mirror that just reflects back what she says. And listen, one of the hardest things for a man to do is this: stop chasing reassurance every time she pulls back. Maybe she's a little quieter than she was yesterday. Maybe she takes a few hours to text back. Many men start to panic and think they did something wrong. They start sending more and more texts, asking if she's okay or if she's mad. They're desperately looking for her to tell them that everything is still fine. But this worry and fear usually push a woman further away. She doesn't expect you to lose your mind just because she's busy for a day. Life is full of stress, and sometimes people just need to be alone to think or rest. When a man panics, it shows that his happiness depends entirely on her. Imagine she usually texts you back in an hour, but today it's been 4 hours. A worried man might send 3 more texts. By the time she sees her phone, she feels like she has to take care of your feelings instead of just being happy to hear from you. A man who trusts himself just keeps going with his day. He goes to the gym, he does his work, he hangs out with his family. When she finally texts, he's nice and normal. He doesn't interrogate her about where she's been. He's steady and calm. A woman feels much safer with a man who doesn't need her to constantly tell him he's doing a good job. But here's the foundation that makes everything else work. Never make her responsible for your happiness. This is the most important thing I can tell you today because it makes all the other boundaries work. You must understand that no person and no relationship should be the only reason you're happy. Many men go into a relationship thinking that a woman will fix the parts of them that feel broken. They want to spend every single second with her, and they feel bad about themselves if she's not around. If she's happy, they're happy. If she's sad, their whole world falls apart. A woman can feel this pressure even if you don't say it out loud, and she doesn't want to be the only thing holding you up. That's too big of a job for anyone. Healthy relationships work best when 2 people who are already happy on their own choose to be together. Imagine your plans to see her get canceled because she has to help her family. Instead of getting upset or moping around all weekend, you tell her, "I hope everything goes well with your family. We'll catch up later." Then you go do something you enjoy. You go for a walk, you work on a project you like, or you see a friend. This doesn't mean you don't care about her. It means you have a full life that's still good even when she's not there. This makes you much more attractive because she knows you're with her because you want to be, not because you need her to save you from being unhappy. When you start living by these boundaries, you'll notice that your whole way of thinking changes. You stop seeing a relationship as something you have to hold on to with all your might. You start to see that a relationship is meant to add more joy to your life, not become your whole life. Many men think that to find love, they have to give up more of themselves. They think they need to be more helpful, more agreeable, more selfless. But a woman who knows her own worth wants a man who knows his own worth too. She wants a man who knows where he's going and what makes his life meaningful. She wants to feel like she's joining a man who's already strong, not trying to help a man who's falling apart. These boundaries aren't meant to keep people away. They're meant to keep the best version of you alive. Every time you stand up for your time, your goals, your friends, and your feelings, you're taking care of the man she liked in the first place. Love doesn't grow because you lose yourself. It grows because you stay true to yourself, even when you love someone very much. So many men only learn this after they've been through a lot of pain and confusion. They give and give until they feel empty, wondering why it didn't make her love them more. Before we finish, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. Have you been spending your energy trying to save the relationship, or have you been spending it taking care of the man you are? The answer to that changes everything.